Hello everybody, Floppy Hat Photos back here again for another episode of my Be Positive van. And today is, I think, my last packing day before I'm going to take off, hopefully tomorrow. Depends on my doctor clears me, but I think that's going to be the trip. I might leave Friday. This is Wednesday, by the way. But what I'm getting ready to show you right here is I actually moved my toolbox around. The toolbox was sitting over here. I did not like that because it was blocking my license plate, which was like half blocked, so it's one of those things I want to mess with. So I moved it over. I'd bought in two 30-pound tanks for my propane tanks just because I wanted to have a spare, and I probably can figure out a little more of how long they'll last me and whatever. I can also probably go with a pound or two spare until I can find it. But I do have a 20-pound also. I have the 30-pound. They do not stand up in the toolbox, unfortunately. But everything I've researched says as long as I have it tilted in the upright position, mostly upright, it's safe to use, and we'll find out, I guess. I've talked to propane providers and people who have run propane trucks and semis or Caterpillars, all kinds of stuff off propane, and they're telling me it's super fine, long as this is not below like the lowest point. You don't want that to be the lowest point because you get liquid propane out, and that's not safe. But the tank's probably, I'm guessing, about 2/3 full at the moment, so I got nothing to worry about. And like I said, I probably don't need this because once I get down to Florida, I will not be needing heat at all, but it's there. So I did have the tank out sitting on the side of this shelf out here on the other side, mounted in that open spot. I didn't like that because it kind of said, hey, I'm living in my van, and I don't want that much of a visibility out there showing it. So all I done is just notched this right here. I would have drilled a hole in the bottom, ran the pipe out, but I've already ran the pipe up into the van. It's all siliconed up, it's all taped up, it's all secured. I had to move it twice already. I didn't want to make it a third time, so I kind of shittily cut this out. It works. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to probably put a little bit of like foam over top of here on the top to kind of seal it up a little better if I get water in there. But nothing in here really is going to matter if it gets wet per se. It's all damp proof, I guess is a better way of putting it, because it's not a waterproof toolbox. I'm going to have a custom one built, or I'll build one myself that actually fills the entire rack up. That'll allow these tanks to stand up in there completely, so I can have two tanks in there. What I have now for storage is I have a staple gun, I have an impact driver down there, a DeWalt 20 volt. I do have my inverter here, which is a great big, I think it's like 2,000 watt, 2,500 watt. I should have looked at that before I put it in there. Let me see if I can get that. That thing is 2,500 watt inverter. And I got to do some checking on it before I get that installed, because it has been, it was in the box, it was in my fire in my garage, and I don't think it works. So I'm going to test it, and I got a guy who does repairs on those, see if he can get it fixed. Also, it has a weird smoky smell, so I got to figure out if it's worth trying to get that smell out of it or not, or just buy a new one. So I took it with me because, like I said, there's a guy down there south that's going to look at that for me, hopefully. My spare tank, which is not hooked up, and there's enough hose to unhook it so the tank can stay sitting right here. Plug it in, I just turn it a little bit so it fits a little better. I have my 20 volt DeWalt charger down there, my 20 volt DeWalt drill. I have a roll of speaker wire, which will become power wire for LED lights, that kind of stuff. I have my rotary tool, and the reason I'm taking that with me is it works great. Cut through wood, metal, plastic, all kinds of stuff, fiberglass. And that's actually what I used to cut the hole out over here, was that exact rotary tool. I've got my fantastic fan. It's supposed to be here today in the mail, so I'm hoping it says it'll be here by 8 o'clock according to FedEx website. So if that gets here, I'm going to, when I get down south, I'm going to install that fantastic fan in the top of my van. So I need the tool to get that done. I'll have